Alright, welcome to part 2 of trying to get this little Jeep back on the road. I'm going to start today, well actually I'm continuing today with removing this front grille and the headlight surrounds. I'm going to go ahead and assess the situation on each of them between this and the set that I just bought, determine which version of each is the best, and go ahead and get them painted. Should be fun. Alright, so there are several little Phillips head screws to get the grille out, and it looks like the same for the headlight surrounds. Sorry for that noise if you can hear it. I had to turn the big lights on in here because it's a little bit dark out. So there's a bit of a buzzing, so my apologies, but I'll go ahead and get this taken off and put them on the ground with the new ones, and we can decide which is best. It is gone. Alright, so I have the two. The old one is on top. This came unsealed when I pulled off the old things. So what I think I'm going to do, since this has a crack in it, I'm going to not use it. So I'll use the original grille, and then I'll use the new surrounds. At some point I'd like to replace those indicators because they are crusty. Look at this. Look how just old and nasty these are. Very brittle. So I'll definitely replace those. But I'm going to go get some paint and get started. Alright, I unpacked the steering stuff, and I have the new headlight surrounds over here ready to be painted. And I have a special guest in my lovely fiance. Here you go. And she's going to take care of the painting. Alright, so while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and get started on placing this steering linkage. This, it turns out, is a 3/4, which is great. I already removed the cotter pins from the two castle nuts, and now I'm going to go ahead and get this lower one removed. Alright, with the 2-pound sledge, that came out with one hit, which I'm very happy about. And I think I'm going to go ahead and, either if you want to come down here, I'm going to go ahead and get the cotter pin out of this top one, coming off the steering box, and remove that one. And then move over here and just ignore this one altogether, since they should come out at the same time. So that is next. Doing the twin wrench thing. I'm always surprised that that works. I don't know why, but it always seems like it shouldn't. Alright. Now it might be ratchet time. Yeah, let me do that. Let me grab it. This is the last one. I'm going to see if Katie can do it with a single hit on the 2-pound sledge. Call it Sister Sledge. Yeah. Very cool. Alright, I think the only thing left is that little wimpy steering stabilizer. These are pretty dry. I think I'm going to go ahead and hit it with a second coat while we're down here once I get that off. And then we can start working on this new system. Alright, for this bottom track bar, I got the little tightening bracket things on. And what I'm going to do is just very roughly guesstimate the approximate length of what it was before. I think that's probably not too far off. I think I'm gonna have to bring it out just a little bit, but I think that's probably good enough to at least get it attached, and then we can build it up from there. Alright, now, get that out of the way. And will you hand me that, please? Is that what you just made? Thank you. Alright, I'm gonna start by attaching the top one here. Just gonna put it kind of loosely for the moment. Okay. And then I'm going to, oh wait. Will you do me a favor and see if this needs to attach above or below? I think it's above, but just to show me a picture of the
looks like it's above.
okay. None of this is even remotely close to exact, by the way. I'm just getting it to a point where it's installed. And I want an alignment shop to check my work anyway on all of this once it's done. So I'm gonna have it properly, professionally aligned instead of just guessing and a tape measure, because I am not good at that. Okay, looks like I actually expanded it a little bit too far that time. There we go. That felt good. And then will you hand me the little baggie, please? It has the cotter pen and stuff in it. There should be someplace. Thank you. What those are. Strange. I don't know why there's washers in this one, but not in the other one. Alright, while you're right here, there's one cotter pin that goes through the castle nut, as I'm sure you know. And then this kit also supplies these little grease nipples for you to preload this with grease. And then once that is done, you can remove it, and they have caps, which is pretty nice. I think this kit was from Rough Country. And you know, I mean, the quality is perfectly manageable, it's acceptable. So I think I'd recommend it, but once I have had a little bit more time with it, I will have a better opinion, I'm sure. But anyway, I just wanted to have you see the installation of one of these at least. So that's how it works. Alright, so got both parts of the linkage put on, and close enough measurement wise. I still need to put the stabilizer on there, but that is going to be tomorrow. I'll let this dry overnight, and I'll come back to it as soon as I can. Well, good morning. It is the next day. I am still not feeling amazing, but I am a little bit better, which is good. Today I'm going to try to get some gas to put into the Cherokee. Also, here's how the steering is looking so far. So far so good. It's kind of funny to see two nice things in there while everything else still looks like hell. And here is the freshly painted grille and headlight surrounds. I think while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and put those on. I do have some college assignments to do today, so I'm going to be sort of running between the house and here, finishing an exam and then coming back as a reward for myself. Maybe work on brakes or something. I'm starting to run out of parts to install. I have all of the brakes, and I do have that new belt. I got the clutch and the pressure plate and the little throw-out bearing in the mail, which is good, but I'm still waiting on the flywheel. I figured after this long, it's pretty likely that the old clutch and the flywheel are just fused together, and I might have to nick that flywheel a couple times, getting them apart, so I figured I'd just order a new one. Generally speaking, I am trying to keep this at a budget under $5,000. Oh, the other big thing I need is rear glass for the trunk, the hatch. But generally, I'm trying to keep it under $5,000, and I'm pretty healthily under that, which is good, considering how much has been done. The last major expense that I have that I haven't spent yet is for tires. I'm not entirely sure which ones I'm going to go with yet. I'm thinking about the Falcon Wild Peak? I don't know. Initially, I was going to do the KO2s, but they're just a little bit expensive, so... Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and set up the camera and then install the grill, and we can see how much better it looks. It should be pretty exciting. Alright, so that took a little bit more effort than I expected. Some of these screws are a different size, and I just had to move them around a couple times, but you know what? That's pretty easy, and I think it actually looks a lot better. It's still definitely not perfect, but it's an improvement. Let me shut the hood and see how that looks. Yeah. It looks like a beat up old X-Ray, still. But now it looks a little bit less sun damaged, I suppose. It'll be nice when I do eventually paint it. But anyway, the only thing I'm waiting on for the steering is the, what's it called? The locksmith to come by and make a key for me. I can't steer it from side to side, and I need to be able to do that to put the steering stabilizer on. So, hopefully he'll get back to me and maybe we can get that done today. If so, I'm going to get some gas and try to start it too. But I'm going to go ahead and run back to my house, get some work done, charge up the GoPro, and then I will be back. And we'll continue with the fun. Alright, it is later in the day. I just had a locksmith come through for a second time now to get a key cut. It turns out September of 1990 was either the later or the earlier key. Initially we thought it was the later key based off of what the dealership gave me, and it wasn't. So now I'm going to go back to the dealership, get a new code, hope that they can give me a different one, and then call them back for a third time to try and get a key. It's been a wild inconvenience, but such is life. Which means I still can't finish the steering, because I need to be able to unlock the steering wheel to be able to do that. So I think I'm giving up for the day, and then I'll focus on getting the other one uploaded and head home. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow. Alright, just kidding. It turns out my desire to have this thing work is stronger than my desire to give up. I just want to see. Okay, that's not really fitting in there that well. Anyway, what I did was I went and got a new ignition cylinder, and I am hoping like hell that it'll be good enough. Anyway, I'm gonna probably do a time lapse of me failing to move the steering wheel, so should be fun. Alright, sometimes you have to listen to your equipment, and that was a good example of my stuff saying, not today. There's a C-clip on there that refuses to come off, so I just can't get this damn steering wheel off. I'll show you where it is. It's right in there behind, or right in front of that metal plate, and it just refuses. So I'm gonna go home, gonna research it, try to find an alternative or a solution, and come back tomorrow. Alright, welcome to my house. It's been a few days since I was at the shop last, and that's just gonna be what it is, unfortunately. However, some good news is I got the lift kit for the XJ, which is very exciting. It's days like these when I really wish that I had my Volvo here, but it is still very broken. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and bring this over to the shop. I also broke down and got some picks and the steering wheel thing that I need to be able to push that C-clip out. So those are hopefully going to be the two next projects, once I can finish the steering, once I can move the steering wheel. So should be pretty exciting. Alright, once again it is several days later, and this time I have new wheels and tires for the Jeep. These are just some sort of cheap Steelies and some 31, 10, 50, 15, what are they? Falcon Wild Peaks, the all-terrains. So I think it'll be a nice look. I might put one of them on, just check the fitment. These are 4.5-inch back spacing wheels, so let's take a look. Should be interesting. Alright, I think that looks really good. I think 4 inches is just enough, so to speak. It just sticks out a little bit. I don't want to cut these fenders or anything, which is why with the 3-inch lift, I only went with 31s. Yeah, I think that has a nice stance to it. So, once it's a little bit taller, I think it'll look a little bit, might look a little goofy, honestly, but we will see. Yeah, should be pretty cool. Alright, I got the steering wheel put back on. I have it so that I can actually move the steering so I can finish the steering. And, very exciting, all that works. I can take the key out normally. Everything works. Imagine that. So, now that I have a key and I can engage stuff, I'm gonna go hook up the battery and see what works and what doesn't. Alright, first signs of life. This back here, this dome light is on. Let's see if it'll turn off with the door shutting. It does. That's cool. Okay, that just started working. And that's really annoying, so I'm going to shut the door for the rest of this moment. And now, I need to find the hazard screws so I can turn them off. I'm not sure where it is. What could I have ever done with that? Strange. It's not in there. I sure would like to have that in there so I don't have to listen to that. Alright, well, in the meantime, does the radio work? Not that I can see. I'll figure that out. Okay, I'm gonna go pull the negative off the battery. Alright, I'm glad to know that works. Well, some stuff works. Just put it that way. The fuel gauge did not move, which leads me to believe it's stuck on totally empty. Where in God's name did I put that hazard switch? Of course, the irony is I feel like I'm gonna need it. There it is. It was just buried under a bunch of stuff. Alright. Let's see, where is my smaller Phillips head? I ruined a cheap pair of picks doing this, but that's okay. Alright. Let's see if that'll engage and disengage correctly. Oh, it's Katie. I'm gonna go ahead and answer that. Very sorry about that. I just disconnected the wire from the coil to the distributor so that I can try and build up some fuel pressure and also make sure that I have plenty of oil circulation since this thing hasn't run in such a long time. So it's gonna crank for a little bit and it's not gonna start, but I will let you know once I'm trying to start it. So, without further ado, let's see if it'll do something. Oh, hell yeah! Oh, it's making noise! Oh, that's so cool! Alright. Let me do one more like that, and then I'll go try to start it for real. Alright, I just reconnected the coil to the distributor. Let's see if it'll start. Come on. That's questionable. I don't hear a fuel pump at all. That might be the issue. Alright, the wire to cylinder number 1 was not fully connected. Maybe that's it? I doubt it though. I don't know. That's really frustrating. Alright, another day, another dollar. I just put this steering stabilizer on here. Just like so. It's a little sketchy, but you know what? It turned out okay. I still need to grease all of these joints, but for now I'm still kind of just mocking everything up. But I'm happy to have the steering more or less wrapped up at this point. So what I'm going to do is cycle this and see if we're within limitations on it. So I'm going to go ahead and set you up so that you can watch as well. That looks pretty good. I don't think that's hyperextended by any means. So that's pretty nifty. Alright. I'm gonna call that a win. Alright, so there is no room under here at all, but way up in there is the sending unit and the fuel pump and all that. And what I'm going to do is sit here and hate myself and fight that for a while and get it out. And then once it's out, I will go ahead and bring you back in, so that we can try and figure out how to put the new one in. I'm pretty sure that's why it wasn't starting. I heard no fuel pump noises at all. So I think that's what it is. So, yeah, apparently there's a big ring that you have to kind of knock out. But I really don't want to drop this tank. I just don't. It seems like more effort than is really required at this point. But devil's advocate, it looks like it's just too weirdly long bolts that kind of hang it in there. So I could just disconnect stuff and do that. But I'm gonna try it this way first, get frustrated, and then if you see it on the ground, you'll know what happened. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Look at this junk. Look at this seal that just fell apart. Look at that line. This looks pretty clogged. I mean, you can't even see daylight through it. It all just looks like something that came off the Titanic. Look at that. It's just so gross. So, here's the new one. You can see a nice new rubber seal there. All of it is just much nicer. And nice clean filter that you can see through. Fuel sending unit that works. Nice new capped everything. And then there's a new seal in here. just like so. And then this thing just kind of knocks on around this and locks it onto the side of the tank. So all I'm going to do now is reassemble. So it should be easy enough. Now I'm just trying to gently finagle here. There we go. Getting closer. Trying not to injure this too badly. I'm just gonna work over that, like so. I can't even see what the hell's going on here. There we go. Just had to coax it a bit there. Closer. Put the seal back, like so. Nearly there. Come on. That's seated. Now. Now, I really should have taken this tank out and had it cleaned, especially considering just how grody the thing looked. But sometimes you just gotta power through a project, unfortunately. Okay, I think that looks like it's in nearly the right place. So, I'm going to try to give it a little bit of condensing here. And in it goes. I can't really tell if that's fully seated, but all the areas that need to be covered are, see if I can get this couple taps right here. That was not fully seated at all. That is fully seated. I was way off. Alright. Now, my only real thing left to do is reattach hoses. There's one. Now, where's the other one? The other one's way over here. Okay. Let's go ahead and do this one first. It would be a much better idea to just use the 1/4 inch or 9/32 or whatever socket for this. It would be a lot less fighting, and it would take about 1/3 of the time. But I am really a fundamentally lazy person, and if I can not go get a different tool, even if it takes twice the time, I'm gonna do that for some reason. And rationally, I know that's a terrible idea and it's a bad way of going about things. Fuck, that's still loose. Alright, I'm admitting defeat. I'm gonna go get a real tool. Well, that's frustrating. I'm wondering if it might be the relay, because after connecting it to power and all that, I'm still getting no reading at all on the fuel gauge. And that's a brand new sending unit, so I feel like it should tick up to the E at least. It has like 3 gallons in it. That can't be completely empty, right? Alright, well, I guess for tonight I'm accepting defeat once again. I have gotten a lot done though. I mean, having this ignition cylinder was a huge thing. Now I can actually move the steering wheel. That's a huge thing, which meant that I got to finish the steering. It has a new fuel pump in it. I think that's progress. Let's see, what are the things that I really need to do next? I need to get it to run. That's a pretty big thing. I need to replace the clutch, the suspension with the Rusty's 3-inch lift kit, and the front and rear brakes, and then just find things as they come. We have a new headliner for it that I haven't installed yet. Oh god, and rear window as well. I forgot about that. But yeah, I feel like we've made some progress. There's some things that have happened. Hopefully in part 3 it'll start. And I thank you for watching. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. I'm gonna keep going on this. I'm motivated. And hopefully it'll be shifting in earnest on a road with very, very slow 307 gears, front and rear, and some 31s. Should be fun. Anyway, well, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.